All right. In this video, I'm going to give an update on my project, which is about how is mixed methods research used to study video in physics education. Of course, this is for my mixed methods research course at the University of Cincinnati. And if you forgot who I am Corey Larison. Woo! Okay, so I'm really interested in the intersection of physics and video because I am a high school physics teacher that's taught for over 10 years. And if you get on YouTube, you will see a lot of video involving physics because physics is very confusing and people try really hard to explain it. A lot of the videos are explainer videos going through math or problem solutions, but there are other uses of video as well, such as using video to analyze a slow motion video for lab data. One pedagogy that I like to use is called the flipped classroom. And I actually have my own YouTube channel with 123 videos, it looks like, that I've made. So I've spent a lot of time working with physics education and video. And if you're unfamiliar, the flipped classroom is where what I do is I give a physics video to students at night to watch instead of giving a lecture in class. And then the class time the next day is used for going through physics textbook problems together, or sometimes we'll do whiteboarding activities or demos and labs, that sort of thing. So anyway, there are a lot of different ways that you can use video in physics, and this is one that I've spent quite a long time doing. So what I'm now interested in for this project is how does mixed methods research fit into this particular interest of mine? I've been interested in physics and video for a long time. And I want to take a look at some of the articles that I've already read and find new articles and see where mixed methods research is being used in this very niche corner of the physics education field. So my definition I'm using from Plano Clark and Ivankova. Mixed methods research is an emerging methodology that can generally be defined as a process of research in which researchers integrate quantitative and qualitative methods of data collection and analysis to best understand a research purpose. And yeah, to go back, I'm interested in mixed methods research for physics because I think that physics itself involves quantifying qualities, right? There's a qual aspect to physics where color is something that we assign number to. Sound we assign number to. Speed, these are very interesting integrative ideas where you're taking the quality of the physical world and you are trying to quantify it to maybe come up with a model to predict or explain what's going on. And teaching physics is a very strange and involved field where I find myself often trying to translate these quantitative models, equations, math, to human beings that are highly qualitative. They don't necessarily think in ones and zeros or with high rationality or those sorts of things. So I'm interested in mixed methods in physics education and then the use of video because those are all the things I'm interested in. So the purpose of my study is to understand how mixed methods are currently being used to study the use of video in physics education. It's a bit of a mouthful. And my research questions are, do physics education research articles involving video emphasize qualitative or quantitative data? What research designs are commonly used for studying video in physics education? And how does integration typically occur for studies involving video and physics education? So my method is pretty straightforward. I'm using the EBSCOhost search portal from the Library of UC, as well as Per Central, which stands for Physics Education Research Central, and it is a search portal from the American Association of Physics Teachers. That's pretty helpful. And actually, Dr. Plano Clark turned me on to that portal, so it's been helpful so far. My search terms are incredibly vague: physics education, mixed methods, and then particular pedagogies that use video. So I'll use the search phrase flipped classroom and then go through all the results and see what I'm getting. But then I had trouble when I was just saying video as a search term. So I started to go with these more specific uses. And there are some other search terms that I've come up with, but this has been a bit of a problem for me because it's hard to gather specific research that involves video. Anyway, So what's my overall method of analysis? Well, I'm using a data extraction matrix proposed by Galvin and Galvin, where I'm basically just going through each article, reading it, and I'm taking a look at the basic information and writing it down. So what are the research questions? How is data collected and analyzed? What was the general conclusion? And then alongside of that, in my matrix, I'm including mixed methods information. So what was the rationale? Was the timing, concurrent, sequential, the type of integration, if there's priority of quantitative and qualitative, and then also typology. So I'm trying to, as I'm going through the studies, to assign a typology to each article that I've got. Eventually, this matrix is going to be used to make categories that address the stated research questions, which, if you don't remember, those research questions really focus on priority of quantitative versus qualitative data, the design, like the overall study design, and then, of course, integration, which with what I've been writing down is beginning to be more of like, what's the type of integration? But I could really get lost in that analysis because there's a lot going on with integration in these studies. So my tentative results, probably my best two articles that I have right now are Making Linear Multimedia Interactive, Questions, Solutions, and Types of Reflection by, his name is Peter Lebedev, and there are some other European authors on this article. And I don't need to get too much into this, but basically it's a concurrent mixed method where they have students watch a Veritasium video, if you know that YouTube channel, where that video asks them to make a prediction and to write it down. And they recorded the writing down of all those students' predictions in a survey kind of thing. And then they watched a second video, which was an explanation of the correct solution. And then the next question after that, the follow-up was, did you change your answer? Why or why not? And they went through and they found that a non-trivial number of students didn't modify their original response, even if it was incorrect. So that's an interesting finding that you wouldn't necessarily get out of a pure quantitative study, because you really have to let students explain themselves and their thinking in a long form qualitative sense, instead of just giving them like a multiple choice and the correct answer is A. So anyway, that's a really interesting study. It's exactly what I'm looking for: use of mixed methods research, explicitly mixed methods research, and it's physics and it's video. Oh, it's sweet. I love this one. The other article that I really, really love is by Susan Ramlow, who actually is she is a professor in Ohio. I'm forgetting exactly where. I want to say University of Akron. But anyway, this article is student views regarding online freshman physics courses. And in this, Dr. Ramlow uses a methodology called Q method, which is a very long-standing research method that's used in physics education research because it has a background in statistical analysis that's used in quantum mechanics. So anyway, Susan Ramlow was trained in physics in her undergrad and came over to research, has been using this, and it's basically like a card sort, and then a factor analysis of the card sorts to come up with some explanations of student opinions. Sorry, not motivations. And she found that the student perceptions of online video for physics were negative, despite a high demand for these type of courses from the university. And this was pre-COVID, which I think is important to note. So anyway, I really like that one. A great article. So what are my questions? Because I need to wrap this up. I am so caught up in the method that I have not emphasized the significance of my topic. Does this seem significant? Am I too into the weeds with what I'm doing, what I'm analyzing? What do you think? I need to focus my analysis and my categories, but I don't know how to do this. So how do you think I should do this? How should I focus my analysis and categories? Which leads to the last question, which is, I'm trying to identify the typology that's being used in each article, and I'm starting to wonder if that maybe is too much, and if instead I should just focus on a design typology. Is this explanatory, that sort of thing. So let me know what you think. Here are my references, and this video is done in under 10 minutes.